Hello, I'm Jackie Fox, and welcome to my Fireside chat. I've been having a lot of technical difficulties this morning. My laptop is deciding not to work very well. um, but I think it's important that I get this video out before the debate tonight, so just to give you some extra things to think about while you watch it. I'm coming to you, by the way, because apparently some members of my lovely audience missed my beautiful face. So here it is, a full video of my face. Let's talk about election-related stuff, get some politics out of the way. After all, that is the nature of this channel. So first I'm going to put on screen a post from Reddit. As with all number-related posts that you've dug up on the internet, take this with a grain of salt. I've done a little bit of research into it. The numbers that I was able to verify seem right, so I assume this post is correct, but there could be some issues with it. So again, take it with a grain of salt. But assuming that this stuff is true, and it seems like it could be based on the horrible debacle that was Iowa, the whole Pete Buttigieg funded app, the way that that app recorded things being a negative for Bernie, but, you know, good for everyone else in the race, especially Pete. Well, it's just funny to me how fucked up these stats are, and the fact that the Democratic Party is completely fine with that, even when they have led the nation on condemning 2 foreign elections over the last year for election regularities that weren't even severe as what I'm putting on the screen. So, yeah, food for thought there about the Democratic establishment. But while we're talking about establishment Democrats, let's talk about Joe Biden. There's something I missed in my last video. It's probably the best point I could have made. I was recording this and writing this at 3 a.m. trying to get it out as fast as I could, and I just missed this. Like, I heard it, I thought about it, and then by the time I stopped the video to record my thoughts, it had slipped my mind. But let's just play this clip for a refresh.
Anyone who needs to be tested based on medical guidance should be tested at no charge.
All right, so you'll notice that the free tests that Biden is saying he will provide are couched in a lot of conditions. A lot of really dumb conditions. I mean, so first of all, this is pretty close to means testing. It's not actually means testing. There is an argument that could be made that means testing would actually be better than what Joe Biden is proposing. But it brings us back to this issue of establishment Democrats and means testing, Bernie Sanders and universality. Notice in Bernie's speech, he doesn't say anything about restrictions on these tests or restrictions on the vaccines. And, you know, maybe it would make sort of like efficiency or economic sense to treat a virus this way if it didn't have the type of characteristics that we're seeing with coronavirus. But the way that Joe Biden has planned giving out tests really makes me think that he doesn't even have a layman's understanding of this virus and hasn't talked to the scientists. The reason that this absolutely has to be universal is that with a 2-week incubation period where the host is contagious, if we wait until people have symptoms or start to have some apparent need for a test, that means they've already been infecting people for 2 weeks, and that is unacceptable. That will cause people to die. Biden's plan will kill Americans that could be saved under Bernie Sanders' plan. But it goes even deeper than that, because the ideas that Bernie has been fighting for since the 1980s and even before would have kind of solved this problem already. Like, we wouldn't be in nearly as much of a crisis right now if we had elected Bernie Sanders in 2016. The most obvious thing is Medicare for all. Like, I'm not even really going to discuss it. It's pretty obvious because we wouldn't be worrying about how do we afford tests, how do we afford treatment, how do we afford this, how do we afford that. All of those medical things would pretty much be paid for under Medicare for all, end of story. Anything less than Medicare for all is a half measure that is dangerous. That is my current opinion, and it is only more profound with the coronavirus. But keep in mind that even before the coronavirus crisis, Bernie Sanders was talking about extending more paid sick leave to American workers. And that is pretty fucking crucial right now. You got people like Jeff Bezos saying that workers should just share their sick leave, as if this isn't a crisis that's going to affect all of his workers at some point or another. I mean, you sharing your time now, yeah, sure, that's altruistic and nice, but what happens when you need it? Is Bezos going to give you more? Fuck no. He's going to leave you to die. I'm sorry. I mean, if this is morbid, but like, I'm tired of fucking around with this, okay? People are going to die. We need to start taking this shit seriously. And we don't just need to take it seriously because it's a crisis. We need to take it seriously because it was already a crisis before the virus. Okay? We were already in a crisis. This just made it worse. This just made it so that the establishment couldn't ignore it, and they're still offering us half measures, so fuck them. But there's actually a lot of other aspects of Bernie Sanders' plan that would really be helping us out right now. There's a lot of people that are in a shady situation because the economy's been beating them down for years. If we had had a $15 minimum wage by now, people would have been able to save up for this. People wouldn't be nearly as scared right now. People would have more means available to them to combat sudden unemployment, to combat all these issues. Also, Bernie Sanders is a big champion of extending unemployment, even before this whole mess came up. Extending Social Security benefits so that our seniors, the people who have the highest mortality rate for this, would better be able to take care of themselves. There's so many reasons why a Bernie Sanders presidency would have made this situation better, even if you factor out all of Trump's flaws. I mean, he has fallen flat on his face in his response to this crisis, let me be clear. But even if we had had like a third term of Obama and Biden, it still wouldn't be nearly as taken care of as if we had had Bernie Sanders. So that's my pitch for Bernie. Watch the debate tonight. It's going to be important. Biden has been terrible in the debates, and when he goes one-on-one against a brawler, an intellectual brawler like Bernie Sanders, he is going to get his ass kicked. I don't even think Bernie Sanders necessarily has to be mean about this. He could just keep it to the issues, like he is known to do, and absolutely trounce it. But since he won't say it, I'll say it. Fuck Joe Biden. You want my mom to die? Eat a dick. Man, this is fun. Speaking of my mother, though, let's get into the reason that my posting schedule has been so weird. I've been playing catch up this week because I got a little time off from the construction work that I've been doing, because my mother's roof started falling in this January. And it's a complicated situation that I will explain more in a future video. And it is also the reason I'm selling Fox hats, because it's a very expensive process to get her house back into good shape. And I'm going to need every bit of help I can get. And we are making you tons of different varieties of Fox hats. There's a Fox hat for everybody. So, hit me up on my Facebook page, Jackie Fox. Just find a way, hit me up in the comments. foxtalksvideos@gmail.com is my email address. Just reach out to me about the hats, and we'll try to get them out to you. I mean, it's a 70-year-old woman that's knitting them, so, delivery and fulfillment may not be all that fast, but we'll get them out to you as soon as we can. So, with all of that out of the way, let's talk about some future video ideas that I have coming for you. Now, I had to couch a bunch of video concepts that I had lined up for February. 2 of them involve Sargon of Akkad. The first is a really sarcastic Sargon of Akkad drag king makeup tutorial. Hello. I am Sargon of Assad. Do you know what polygamy is? I'm hoping you don't, because I'm going to spend the next 14 minutes trying to convince you that polygamy is the same thing as cuckoldry. And you're going to buy it. And by the end of this, you're going to be thoroughly convinced that all leftists are raging cuckolds. Where I'm going to show you how to do a full beard in makeup. I learned how to do this myself, and I think it's pretty fucking awesome. I watched a bunch of trans or drag king YouTubers doing makeup tutorials to learn how to do this. I've combined a bunch of the techniques that they use, and I think that my technique is pretty comprehensive and could be beneficial to the T-boys out there or male impersonators. Anybody who needs a nice looking beard because they can't grow their own face fuzz. So that's first up. Second, we're going to talk about right-wing projection, the way that they tend to take all of their flaws and pretend that they are exclusively flaws of the left. And I think we both know that that's not the case. And if there are any Republicans in the audience, you know, check that one out. Maybe you'll have an epiphany. I don't know. I try to keep this channel open even though I am a leftist. You know, I think that really leftism should appeal to the entire working class. So, you know, I try not to exclude Republicans in my videos. So I really encourage you to watch that one. Another one that is going to be important, I'm doing a series on modern monetary theory. That's going to be either an hour-long video or 3 20-minute videos, depending on how you tell me in the comments that you want to see it done. I think it would be easy to break up, but also it probably makes the most sense if you just watch it in one sitting. But it is kind of long, so I do kind of want to break it up. I don't know how to go with that, but, you know, tell me in the comments what you would prefer to see. I also want to do a video about dissociative identity disorder told through kind of the lens of Dungeons and Dragons. I think that's going to be a really interesting long video, and it's going to help us get to know each other. Finally, I have a video that is out on, let's say, an explicit platform. You can figure out what that platform is and go look for Jackie Fox in Friends. Jackie Fox and Friends apparently was taken or something. I don't remember why I went with the N. Maybe there was a character limit, but you can find me on that website there. I did a video called Cam Girls Wanted, which is all about the porn industry and leftism, and the intersection of socialism and porn and workers. And I don't really hear people talking about, you know, cam girls and the porn industry very much. There's not a lot of like leftist based pro-sexual content. Like, you know, some people are doing videos on sex work and stuff, but really I think that that's something that leftism needs more of, because let's face it, basically all of us masturbate. There's a lot of porn on the internet. We watch it, and we should be thinking about how those workers are treated and what a preferable way to treat them would be. Ways that we can encourage more humanity in the porn industry. So that's a short list of what I'm going to be doing, and if you have any questions that have been unresolved by this video, or you just want to drop in and say hi, hit it up down in the comments, like this video, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, you know, do all that YouTube stuff, and hit me up about a Fox hat, because, again, you need the money, and I think my mom's doing good work. The Fox hats look fantastic. And you'll see a little bit more of that in the outro. So, in the meantime, see you, folks. I'm Jackie Fox, and my content will always be ad-free because I'm eschewing corporate donations to the channel. I just ask that if you can donate a little bit of money on Patreon like these fine, foxy folks, or if you want to make a one-time donation, you can donate on Coffee. If you're looking for another way to support the channel, I'm also making Fox hats with my logo on them. They are currently in the design phase, and I'm willing to allow people to ask for customized hats. Prices may vary depending on the cost of labor to manufacture them, because I want to make sure that my workers are paid fairly. But I am happy to say that the next few months, if you're a patron who has donated to this channel, I will be counting all of your donations against the cost of your first Fox hat, allowing you to get it at a discount.